What's up, y'all? It's Kamikaze MMA. I just fucking filmed 2 of these videos, so if this video doesn't work, then guess what? I'm not gonna fucking make another one, because I just made 2 of them, and they were both 35 minutes long, so I spent over an hour filming this shit. Oh my god. Alright, let's get right into it. I'm just gonna pinpoint what I really want to get out, because I made this video 3 times, so you're not gonna have to sit here and listen to me rant. I mean, even though you just did. Carlos Prates doesn't know that he could throw ground and pound shots in the UFC. That's why all of his KOs have been walk-offs, right? Ian Machado Garry is really good at backpedaling, so he should be a cornerback. Let me start with this. They should cut Ian Garry from the UFC. I don't want to see him again. If you're one of the people saying, I want to see him get knocked out, I understand that. I do too. I'd rather just not see him again. But, moving on. If Ian Garry was a cornerback for the New York Jets, he'd be much more entertaining. He'd actually want to play the sport he's competing in. But, you know, he said he just wants to show the world he's a game fighter. He did not do that tonight. He showed the world again he's a fucking pussy. So, yeah, I also think this fight was a draw. I think the first 3 rounds, nothing happened. Unless Carlos Prates got rocked somewhere in between them. So, good job to Ian Garry. You landed a single uppercut, dude. Good job. Good job. You landed a single uppercut and a couple of takedowns. Good job, Ian Garry. I'm just going to make this video quick because I can't fucking film another one of these. I can't talk about this again. Carlos Prates doesn't know how to throw punches on the ground. I don't understand how he doesn't know that. This is a joke because he did land a couple of good ground and pound shots. All of his knockouts have been walk-offs because he didn't understand that he could throw. I think the refs might have said something after he threw the first couple of ground and pound shots, and he was like, oh, so this is illegal. Okay, I thought so. I just wasn't sure. You know, like Gene Silva, he probably went to the body first against Melsik Bagdasaryan because he was like, I don't know if this is legal. Maybe they'll give me more leeway if I go to the body. Maybe they're just, the fighting nerds don't understand that you can ground and pound. But in all actuality, he should have won this fight. He should have finished Ian Garry in that 5th round. 3 hammer shots from the side when he was on the backside would have ended the fight. But no, we just get Ian Garry being like, yeah, man, I'm the best in the world. Yeah, you're not even the best at welterweight, dude. So, cool. We get Ian Machado Garry versus, Sean Brady. Ian Garry versus Sean Brady next, which is great because Ian Garry's going to fucking win that fight. I'm actually going to pick Ian Garry to win a fight because that's a match made in heaven for him. I think Carlos Prates is still going to be a champion. The grappling he showed in this fight was really, really good. He just needs to throw punches, dude. He threw under 130 of Ian Garry strikes. Like, dude, you're not going to win a fight throwing at that rate. I mean, unless he did knock him out, which he could have, but he didn't go for the finish. It's just sad. I'm going to move on because I've already done this 3 times and I'm just pissed off. Yeah. Anthony's, I do think it was a draw though. I think the 5th round was a 10-8. And the only reasonable explanation you could say that it wasn't a 10-8 is Carlos Prates wasn't going too much for the finish. That is the only way you could say that. Because it was a 10-8. It was so close to being a finish. If Carlos Prates went for the finish, he would have gotten it. He just didn't go for the finish. I really don't understand why. I'm trying to find the reason. This is the first time I'm really, really excited to hear an after interview for Carlos Prates on why he didn't go for the finish. I'm just so confused. So confused. Anthony Smith curls up into a fucking fetal position and gets TKO'd once again. His whole career is curling up into a fetal position. I don't know how that makes you Lionheart. I guess not. The one thing that he's known for is not taking the belt off John Jones. That makes you a lion. Oh yeah. Not taking the belt off someone. Oh yeah, this dude's a real lion. He didn't take the belt off someone. In all honesty, I feel bad for Anthony Smith. His career is sad. He has almost the same losses as wins. And TJ Dillashaw, I saw something about TJ Dillashaw talking about this dude will never be champ. He loves saying that, even though he was only champ because he fought against one of the worst champions in UFC history. It's one of the only reasons he was champion. But yeah, when the bantamweight division was brand new, yeah, I only fought for 4 years and I got the belt. Yeah, dude, good job. Anyone would have. At the time you were fighting, anyone would have. Good job, TJ. Did you do it without EPOs? No, I didn't think so. But he was talking about Anthony Smith. He's like, yeah, dude, that dude will never be champ. Someone was like saying how he had 50, 60 fights. And TJ goes, yeah, that dude will never be champ. It's like, no one fucking brought that up, you fucking retard. And then Rampage goes, yeah, dude, but he's been in the cage fucking 50 more times than you. And TJ was like, yeah, but he'll never be champ. It's like, yeah, he hasn't taken EPOs either. Fucking loser. Fucking 5'4" loser. Yeah. What now, TJ? Are you gonna fucking, are you gonna fucking 1-2 head kick me? 1-2 head kick, 1-2 head kick, 1-2 head kick. Or is your shoulder gonna pop out? Your shoulder gonna pop out? Your shoulder gonna pop out if you head kick me? Yeah, alright, dude. You're never gonna be champ again, bud. Anthony Smith gets curled up into a fetal position. This fight was gonna go one of two ways. He was either gonna submit Zhang Min Yang. If Zhang Min Yang went for an uncharacteristic takedown, which everyone knew he wasn't going to do, and he obviously didn't do. So Anthony Smith got TKO'd. Landed a good elbow. Zhang Min Yang landed a good elbow. Anthony Smith was like, oh, that was an okay elbow. Let me throw another one. Lands another good elbow. He's like, oh shit, is this blood mine? Oh no. Oh, mommy, I'm a lion. Mommy, I'm a lion. But in all actuality, it's just fucking sad. 2011 is another thing I'll throw out there. If y'all know, y'all know. I was going to say something, but I can't. So, Giga Chikadze versus David Onama. One of the most boring fights I've ever seen in my life. Giga won the striking exchanges. David Onama took him down at will. So, so fun. So excited to see David Onama fight again. The dude who's known for ruining Israel Adesanya's celebration. So excited to see him fight again. Randy Brown versus Michel Pereira versus Abus Magomedov. Y'all can't say this. Same with, I mean, I guess you can't say it because Carlos Prates didn't start fighting until the 4th round. About cardio. Michel Pereira's cardio looked better than Abus Magomedov. To be fair, Abus threw 50 times more. I was wrong. Michel Pereira threw more. And Abu still gassed out quicker. But, yeah, which it was what I was saying. People are all like, oh, yeah, dude, this dude gasses out after walking to the cage. Yeah, he really doesn't, though. He's actually has okay cardio. His cardio is not good by any measure, but it's not the worst. So I don't get it. Michel Pereira could have won this fight if he didn't get rocked in the 3rd. I really believe that, but he got rocked in the 3rd, so they give it to Abus. I think it could have been 30-27 too. They could have said that. It doesn't really matter. I mean, Abus looked good in the first. Michel Pereira looked good in the 2nd, and then Michel Pereira looked good in the 3rd, and then Abus rocked him, and then Michel Pereira forgot he could punch. This card was weird. It was a good card, but it was a weird card. It was like a lot of people just not knowing how to fight on this card. Randy Brown gets knocked down in the 1st round. I'm like, oh, damn, I picked the wrong dude. I guess. I picked the wrong dude. Fuck. Nicholas Dalby, even besides the knockdown in the 1st, just looks like the way better fighter in every metric of fighting in the 1st round. So I'm like, okay, this is bad. Randy Brown comes out in the 2nd, puts it on him, lands a left hand, I think, that drops him, and then lands a left hook right here and a right hook. One of the cleanest knockouts I've ever seen. Honestly. I'm sorry if I have low energy. I've just made this video 3 times, once again. But the energy I had for explaining this KO and the other 2 it was really high energy, but I just can't do that again. So Nicholas Dalby gets flatlined like Tony Ferguson and then immediately recovers from it. I don't understand how. That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life, was him going and then just kind of like back up on his knees immediately. I was like, whoa, what? How did that happen? Moving on. Ikram Alaskarov versus Andre Muniz. Ikram just comes out, puts it on him. Easiest pick. Easy to pick. I mean, what was Andre Muniz going to do? Get knocked out? He did. Jason Herzog was trying to get it to go to the second round, but he just couldn't let it. He's overwatching them. 10 seconds left. 9 seconds, 8 seconds, 7 seconds, stops the fight. It was just, 30 seconds of Ikram punching him on the ground. So, at least Ikram knew he could throw ground and pound shots. Matt Schnell versus Jimmy Flick. I kind of think Jimmy Flick was robbed, but I'm not that concerned with it. I mean, Matt Schnell, I guess you could give him the second round because he landed 2 elbows on Jimmy Flick, and Jimmy Flick didn't land any ground and pound. But he had more top position, so I think you could have given it to Jimmy Flick, but I'm not upset with this. He sells the fight himself by going for 2 guillotines back-to-back that put him on bottom position. He does the first one. I'm like, okay, that's whatever. Go for the guillotine. Immediately gives up top position. Not even a close submission attempt. Gets top position. Regains top position. I'm like, okay, this is pretty fucking good. Good job, dude. Immediately goes forward again. Gives up top position. I'm like, okay, what the fuck are you doing? Third round looks terrible. Matt Schnell 100% won the third round. Second round was close, though. I think you could give it either way. I know that's probably controversial. It's like, how could you say that? How could you say that? Evan Elder versus Gage Young. It was super boring. Not super boring. It was just like, it was like one of the fights. It felt like a sparring match. It's just one of the fights is about to go to decision. Especially after the second round. After Evan Elder kept throwing the body kicks and not landing the head kicks, you're like, this shit's going to a decision. I kind of tuned out the third round. I don't even think I watched it, to be honest with y'all. So, it's whatever. Kind of the same thing with Chris Gutierrez versus John Castaneda. Chris Gutierrez almost finishes John Castaneda with leg kicks like I predicted. But whatever. He knocks him down in the first or the second. I don't really remember which. It wasn't a bad knockdown, so it wasn't really that memorable. I don't think he was that close to finishing it. And after the second round, I kind of tuned it out too, and then started watching again because John Castaneda's leg looked pretty bad, and I was like, oh, he might get the leg TKO like I was saying, but he didn't, of course. He didn't, of course, because how could we have a fun fight? How could we have a fun fight after Malcolm Wellmaker, Cameron Simon? How could that happen? We don't know. Just kidding. This was actually a good card. I know I'm complaining. It's just that I'm just pissed. I made 3 of these. Well, this is the third one. I made 2 other ones. 35 minutes. An hour and 10 minutes of making videos right now. 122 at this point. 123 now. But, I mean, it was a good night of fights, though. I was actually pretty hyped until Carlos Prates forgot that he could punch on the ground. And then I was like, fuck, bro. Fuck. Because he actually looked really good in that fight. Besides not throwing punches. If he threw punches, he would probably have gotten the belt next. Gotten the shot next. But whatever. Damon Blackshear versus Heli Alatang. Damon Blackshear barely wins this fight. I mean, I'm just saying that because it was competitive and I was expecting him to wipe the floor with Heli. I mean, he landed more than double the strikes of Heli, but I was expecting Damon to come out here and wipe the floor with him. Submission round 1, round 2, but nope. We get a decision. Malcolm Wellmaker flatline knocks out Cameron Simon. And that made me pretty upset. But the thing that really made me upset is MMA Guru lying on his stream. Right after this happens, he goes, oh, he was looking so good. No, he wasn't. He was looking terrible. The entire beginning of this round, I was waiting for him to get knocked out. When he came out and he started swinging like a WMMA fighter, started running out there, not even like Juliana Pena, because he was... Juliana Pena at least understands that straight shots are a little bit easier to land, and if you're going to fight like a retard, throw some straight shots, or just full overhands like Drickus. But you got to have power. Cameron doesn't really have power. So, this is my whole thing. Stop training in South Africa with Drickus. It's ruining your career. If you want to be an MMA fighter, you have to trade camps today. Today, you have to leave that camp. Secondly, if you're going to fight that way, either throw straight shots or throw full overhand, full powers. Don't be, don't be scooting in on a, like, with good footwork for straights, and be coming in like this. This has no power, dude. No power whatsoever. The shot he landed on Malcolm Wellmaker landed a half a second before the shot that Malcolm threw that knocked him out. It landed a half a second before, and it just rested on his chin. Like this. It wasn't like this. It was like this. He landed like this. Because he wasn't throwing hooks or straights. He was throwing, like, punches like this. What are you doing? What are you doing? First off, you don't have the plot armor or power of Drickus, dude. So, and you're not fighting retards, which 170 and above, retards. 155 above, skilled intellectuals, okay? You're not fighting retards at 185. You can't just expect to win. You can't. You have to actually fight. You have to fight. But, no, he comes out there and he starts fighting like a WMMA fighter. Not even as good as one, actually. He wasn't throwing straight shots. Getting like, like if he was throwing like this, I would have been like, okay, at least he's trying to land. He was throwing like this. What are you doing? What are you doing, dude? I can't believe Guru had the nerve to say that this dude looked good in the first. He looked terrible. But whatever. Malcolm Wellmaker actually knows how to throw a powerful punch, so he knocks him out. So cool. Jacqueline Amorum, don't know how she didn't finish this girl Polyana Viana. Right? That's her name? Because she's never trained MMA, right? Yeah, she's never trained MMA. I don't know how she didn't get finished in the first. She actually has a couple of finishes earlier in her career. Since 2023, though, she hasn't been training MMA, okay? So, yeah, Jacqueline Amorum gets it done. This really sucks. No, it doesn't. What the fuck am I talking about? She has, like, a pain tattoo or something, right? Yeah, she has a pain tattoo. That's why it sucks. But, yeah, who the fuck cares, dude? This is fucking women's strawweight. Who the fuck cares? Timothy Kumba versus Roberto Romero. The Jacqueline Amorum fight, I just don't know how she didn't finish her in the first round. That's all I am going to say about that. Timothy Kumba, early stoppages. Roberto Romero, slightly early. I don't think it was, like, criminally early. It was like the Yuri Alex stoppage where it's like, yeah, you could stop that, but it is early. Timothy Kumba is getting beat the whole fight. Roberto Romero gets a head kick, the weakest head kick I've ever seen in real life landed. It literally did this. It was a front leg question mark, if I'm not mistaken, and it went. And it moved his head like literally this much. And the commentators would go, oh, head kick. It's like, dude, that was the weakest head kick we've ever seen. It did 0 damage. I would have much rather seen a jab than that weak-ass head kick. And I'm saying this in my head while this fight's going on. And then he lands like a left hand and a flying knee right after and puts him out. I'm like, oh, well, I guess now the head kick actually matters. But I want to make it very clear that head kick did 0 damage. I want to make it very clear. But whatever. Chelsea Chandler versus Jocelyn Edwards. Chelsea Chandler gets knocked out in the first round very unexpectedly. I saw a post that said Leon Edwards knocked out Michael Chandler. I thought it was funny in the moment. I made this joke 3 times now, and it's no longer funny. She gets knocked out in the first. I don't know how you get knocked out by Jocelyn Edwards either. Chelsea Chandler needs to retire. I hope she doesn't get cut from the UFC because she is a constant case of comedy. It's sad that we lost the one in the men's division with Anthony Smith, but at least we have Chelsea Chandler to keep us laughing. One more thing before I go. If this video doesn't save, I'm gonna be super pissed. But one more thing before I go. If you stayed this far, thank you so much. If you're an Ian Garry fan, I don't understand why, but I still appreciate you, and I will be giving you an offer. If your girlfriend's not fulfilled, right, or if you're just into that stuff, either or, you could give me a call. And I'll come over there, I'll fulfill the relationship, And if you really want to roleplay Ian Garry, after I'm done fucking your girl, we could act out you decisioning me by backpedaling the whole fight and landing a couple of leg kicks and maybe a jab. Maybe I'll let you land an uppercut if I'm feeling nice on the day. We'll see. But yeah, really, if you're a Garry fan, I don't understand why. There's no reason to be a fan of him unless you like watching your girl get fucked. Peace. Yep, the video didn't end, and there's something that came up, so let's try that again. If you're an Ian Garry fan, I don't understand why, but, I'll respect that once I fuck your girl. Peace.